this week, I have someone who's very dear to my heart and who just spiritually uplifts me every time I'm in his presence. I feel the energy rise. And he is a director. He's a producer. He's been a stuntman in his career in Hollywood, a very successful person who had a show on Gaia called Interviews with Extra-Dimensionals. He was also a producer of the citizen hearings that happened on Capitol Hill. That documentary that was they were filmed a few years ago. Senator Mike Gravel, I was a huge fan of his, was one of the people there, but everyone on Capitol Hill was. And we're going to parse out some things that are going on right now with UFOs and with extra-dimensionals. And is it a distraction or is it the real thing finally being revealed? So here I have Reuben Langdon, my friend, to help us sort through it. Welcome, Reuben.
Hey Tara, it's great to be here. Good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well and safe, and been sort of following your story in real time as it's been unfolding. And what an adventure, huh? That's
Yes. Let's get into your story. So right now, Reuben, you last time I talked to you, you were working on some documentary stuff. I know that you've done a lot with living off grid with your wife. You've done a lot with spiritual matters and also with your interviews with extra-dimensionals. And now we're watching unfold these hearings in real time, congressional hearings, amongst other things, about UFOs, and they call them non-biological beings. Or what do they call them?
non-biologics. Yeah, that was sort of the term sort of thrown around at the hearing, this most recent hearing on Wednesday.
So enlighten us a little bit. What's your take on all this?
Well, as you were saying, is it a distraction or is there some legitimacy to it? I actually did a poll on my Twitter, and it looks like the Twitter crowd, they're quite hip on, all of the latest psyops and things. So 50% of the of that group said it was a distraction. 16 said it was legit, and then 33 said it was both. So I did put the both marker in there just to see where people were falling. I fall in the both category. It is a very important topic that has been, secret. Our government, the U.S. government, and other governments around the world have been keeping this secret since the 1940s, maybe even earlier. But we have records showing for sure since the 1940s that this topic, in a sense, has been shrouded in deep secrecy from the Roswell crash, which is sort of the most famous one we've all heard about, but there have been many. And the reverse engineering, we can go back into the Nazi Bellcraft and other types of connections with sort of extra dimensionals to gather an edge and get technology to have power over adversaries, right? So this has been a big part of the Cold War, actually, was around between US and Russia, was around the UFO subject and secrecy in that, and who's got what technology and that kind of thing. It wasn't just about nuclear arms and weapons. So so that's coming out now, and this hearing is sort of setting the stage so we can have the open conversation and not get the typical ridicule and laughing that usually happens when you even bring up the topic. It is a very serious topic, and now hopefully I think the positive side of this is about that we can have the conversation that people I was on a Twitter space last night, and there was a ton of people just coming forward sort of for the first time about they saw a thing or they had an experience or they actually interacted with an ET, but they didn't know how they could explain it or talk about it or that kind of thing. So this is the positive side of this, is we can start to have these conversations like we are right now. But there is obviously some very auspicious things around the timing and about some of the players in the audience that we saw there on the hearings. Personally, I think I think Burchett, Representative Burchett and Luna, who were sort of spearheading this hearing, and as well as the witnesses, I think they're all legit. I think they're trying to do their best. And yeah, pointing the fingers, but yes, there was some shadiness behind the scenes, perhaps.
Yeah,
In the
Reeve, show that piece you just showed, because Reuben, you sent that piece to me.
Yeah.
Describe to our audience what we're seeing there. What's your take on that?
Well, it's basically, we have the most sort of questionable character in this is James Clapper, with the Obama administration and heavy intelligence guy. He was caught lying under oath and didn't really get punished or anything happened to him. So I think just by his track record, as well as the people he's been around with the Clinton administration, he's a questionable character. And I'm not sure if my fellow researchers like George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell are good friends. I'm not sure if they're aware of that, and I don't even know if some of the witnesses who are testifying are aware of some of the backgrounds of some of these people. So I know it's sort of easy to say, oh, it's all a psyop, but you have to understand, there's the people who are coming forward to testify, like the David Fravers, are people who've had, they're credible people who have been in the military. They've had extraordinary experiences, and they're wanting to share what they've experienced, and they're doing it in this public forum. Grush, he's also he's a questionable character, but I feel his testimony is accurate, what he is able to say, right? And there does seem to be a push-pull of these intelligence things going behind the scenes, as Burchett and Luna were trying to get a skiff meeting after the fact, which he said, I'll tell you in the skiff, but they're being blocked.
What did that mean? What did that mean for the audience that doesn't know? What's a skiff meeting? What are they talking about?
So skiffs are, for Congress members and classified meetings. People go into these sort of special rooms where they're in a Faraday cage, so electronics cannot pierce in or go out. Signals can't come in and out. They're not allowed to use any electronics. They're supposed to leave all their electronics outside the door, and they're sort of checked for all that, so nothing can hear in and sort of get here into that classified information. So Congress is supposed to be able to have those types of conversations with intelligence community people and military people, but for whatever reasons, they're even blocking. And who's they, right? Who are these people? I don't know. They've just say Burchett and Luna are saying, we're being blocked from having a skiff. So that means that there's some other interference with gathering information and questioning Grush, and over half of Grush's testimony was, I'll tell you in the skiff. I'll tell you in the skiff. I can't comment exactly on that, right? So and he's being careful. There's these new laws that are coming forward to protect whistleblowers. However, there are many whistleblowers that forget about the NDAs and have come forward. Dr. Stephen Greer has been doing bringing a lot of those people forward. The fact that those people aren't testifying is a little strange. There is a lot of high strangeness around just this topic in general, but then all the characters and the different motives and different things. It was the other sort of obvious questioning and answering and direction that they were trying to carry the narrative was in this sort of fear-based narrative of where we don't know what they are. They could cause harm. Grush even made this pause of like, me and my wife saw stuff and it's dangerous and that kind of thing. And then later in the same setting, he was asked if he said, well, I've never seen any craft. I've never seen anything personally. All my information is from sort of secondhand testimony or credible people that he's interviewed over the years and stuff. So there is some contradictory there. And then you have to ask, why are they pushing this this fear narrative, and obviously, so the most obvious reason would be to get more funding for the military industrial complex.